And it goes a little something like.
What's up, YouTube? So today I am back with another video, and now we're back to more artsy stuff where I'm going to create, in the long run, I want it to be over 50 some characters. I want to create a character base, spoiler alert, but today's video is 30, we're gonna say 30 plus characters, 30? Anyways, 30 plus characters being created today for this video because we're starting with, right now we've made 30 total, and I'm going to be showing you them and me making them. And I basically want to start creating my own character base just because I think it's really fun to create original characters, and they're going to be like cutesy rainbow characters, like animals. So they're characters, but they're all animals or objects. It's weird. You'll see. Now, I do watch Mariah Elizabeth every Friday she posts, so I do take some inspo, but I'm not copying, except for one, which I'll explain later, too. But basically, I think I just need to stop yapping, and we need to get into the video where I'm going to create a bunch of characters for you guys. And also, this may be a part series. It might take more than one part, so I may separate this into a series, so today you may not see all 30 characters I have created, just so you know. So let's get into the video. Alright, so here we are in my notes app. This is Notability basically, and I have already created a character base before, just not a lot, and I am coming up with a lot more ideas to add to this. So I basically wanted to show you, these are all of the characters I have created previously, and they're called my rainbow characters because there's one of every color. But I am basically going to recreate them on Procreate and make them a whole new design, give them a whole character, description, base, and we're going to add some things and maybe change a few things that I think should be fixed because I drew this on a notes app, straight off notes and my Apple Pencil, so some of them are a little rough, but we're going to fix that. So I'm on Procreate and I've created a list to keep track of all my characters, which is right now at 33, I think, but throughout this video, I start creating a lot more and figure out that there are a lot more characters that I want to add to this list. As I said, I want to get to at least 50 at some point, but we probably won't get there right now. So we're adding a few things here, and these characters were added so far. We've got Levi and Pink Dino. I don't know what the Pink Dino is and if I've made that one yet. But we've got some Bubbles as a new character, Austin as a new character, Bubbles again as a new character, and there are a few more new characters that I'm going to show you today, and I have basically sketched out every single one of these characters so far already, and we're going to color them and make them all perfectly designed how I have them, and yeah, so let's get into the creating process. Some of these are going to be time-lapsed because I forgot to record, I just couldn't record, and it was inconvenient for me to, so we're going to start with the first time lapse, which this is Matthew, the parrot. Yep, he's a macaw, I think. But he's got his own personality, and right now we're working on his sketch, which all of these have been pre-sketched, so when I do this and make it, it's easier for me to like start and draw, and they've been pre-prepped. So we changed a few things about this and added all the wonderful colors, and here we have Matthew the bird, which I don't know why it doesn't say parrot because he is a parrot. Anyway, so here's his description. He's a party animal. He's very extroverted, fun, bold, and there are times he can be a little crazy. And I love making these little personalities for these people. It's so fun, but yeah. So there's Matthew the bird, and now we're moving on to our next character, which is a little interesting. Her name's Fishy the fish. Very definitely creative, right? She's very fishy. She's a leader and is often by herself, makes unless hurting school of fish, she's like a mom to the fish. And then it says, Bubbles, is that you? Because that could be Bubbles right there. You've not met Bubbles yet, but you will soon. So yeah, that's Fishy the fish, and I really like how she turned out. She's very pretty and colorful. So yeah, here's our finished product of Fishy the fish. And yeah, now we're moving on to School O Fishy. Another very creative name. Yeah, they really don't have a good name. It's okay though. They're just a bunch of school of fish. So these fish are childlike, playful, they work together, and they are a little bit crazy and mischievous, and they're very playful, so they work in groups, and they always like to make fun and do pranks and stuff and all that kind of stuff. They're fun fish, and they're all a group. They travel together and work together and do and complete everything together. So yeah, here's the finished version of the School of Fishy. And guys, I promise these names and characters get better. I swear, definitely. Okay, so here we go. Next character we are creating today is Bubbles. So this one is the first one that's in person. You actually get to see me drawing it because I had time to show you and my hair's in the way. So yeah, just ignore that. But anyways, Bubbles is, I guess, like a poodle. If you've ever seen Pets, that white fluffy dog that's in love with the main character, I can't remember their names. She reminds me of her, almost. But she's a different breed. She's a poodle. So she's pretty perfect and everything. Unless the other dog was a poodle. I don't think she was a poodle. She was like a Pomeranian or something. But yeah, so right now we're just working on our outline, which she is a white dog, so we have to like do like a really super light gray so y'all can see it on this background. And then we'll add a background in the end too. But she's got some white fluffy hair and a little cute bow and some blush. She's just a little cute, happy little dog living her best life. And yeah, so here is Bubbles. Did I even say her name? Her name is Bubbles. So we have two characters named Bubbles, if you didn't know, which you'll see later. This is Bubbles number 1. Bubbles is a poodle, as I said before. And she's just a really happy dog. And she is hype. She's super fun. She's often confused with the other Bubbles, of course. So yeah, right now we're working on a little name title and the background and all that jazz. Look at the little cute hearts. And then we're going to write her bio right now. So let's do that really quick. And like I said, she's loving, funny, awesome sauce. Of course, she's like such a fun dog to be around. And you know who I'm thinking they might be besties? What about Russell? You haven't met him yet, but Russell and Bubbles, they're both dogs. I don't think I have any other dog characters, or else they would be friends. Maybe I could make another dog character. Do we need another dog if we already have 2 dogs? I think I have a cat character. Maybe I could do another cat. Maybe we should do another cat. That could add to the list. Anyways, I'm yapping again. So basically, we're finishing up her bio really quick with this little pretty purple color, and I'm trying to make it perfect because that's me, and I like to make it perfect. But yeah, so we finished that up and getting rid of the outline, and then we added a background in the end and added all the finished details. So this is Bubbles, as I've explained. Here you go, super fun, hype, cute dog, you know, just a loving dog. So here's Bubbles' finished product, and we love how she turned out, so cute. Next, so you're informed with the lore, this is Bubbles number 2, Bubbles the Bubbles. You know, I just really thought, like, Bubbles should be named Bubbles. I didn't know, because they're bubbles. Because that makes sense. Okay, yeah, so we're making our little bubbles over here with this blue little pastel outline. We got some baby bubbles, we got some big bubbles, and we got some medium-sized bubbles. And, you know, they're all just a lovely family. You know, I don't know if they're a family or if they're just friends. But they come from this bubble wand. That's how they're created. And people just, you know, blow the bubbles out and boom, Bubbles is created. And Bubbles is this character that I also created. So there's literally no inspiration to this except I wanted Bubbles. I love Bubbles. Bubbles are so fun, you know? So yes, we had to make a Bubbles character. But anyways, we're making like these shadows with pink and blue highlights, creating their name, designing the little colors, the bubbles, Bubbles the Bubbles, and adding the bio. And yeah, so Bubbles is complete now. After we added the last final background with the little watercolor, and I think it's really pretty. I really loved how Bubbles turned out. These 3 colors together look super well, and the bio's like blind right now. I know we're gonna fix that, so you can't really see it, but in the end, I will fix that and switch the color so that you can actually see it, because right now it's kind of hard to see because this light blue is like a little too light for you to see on camera, but we're going to fix that so that you can see it. So we basically colored the background a little bit of a darker blue and fixed that in the end. So here's it with a better color so you can see it, and we tried to keep the colors on theme, but yeah, Bubbles is socially awkward, crazy, and they also travel in groups, and they operate/travel in groups. They're party people. They're often confused with Bubbles, the dog. Wow, of course they are confused with Bubbles, the dog, because they are both named Bubbles. However, they look very different, so they're not the same person, and they have a different personality, so don't confuse them. Bubbles, the dog, will get mad when you always assume she's Bubbles. So when you're seeing Bubbles, just try to be like, you're Bubbles the dog. You're the fun one. And don't confuse her with Bubbles the Bubbles because she'll get mad at you. But Bubbles the Bubbles do not care if you call them Bubbles the dog because they don't know anything. So they don't know any better. So yeah, we're done yapping about Bubbles. And as you've been seeing up on the screen, this is the finished version of Bubbles. So yeah, now we're going to move on to the next character, which is a jellyfish. And we're back with another time lapse because we couldn't film this in person. But yeah, because I'm liking to do this in my free time, so sometimes I don't always have a camera up. But here's our next original, unoriginal named character because Jelly is their name and they look like grape jelly because that's super original. So what do you like? What do you think about my awesome, innovative, creative name? Jelly. Jelly the jellyfish is an amazing character too. I really love how she turned out. She's so cute and underwater. I love Jelly. I've always liked jellyfish because I think they look so cool, but I never wanted to touch one because I didn't want to get stung by one. But yeah, jellyfish are cool. But I'm gonna stop yapping and tell you about Bubbles and his character personality. So there's not much about Jelly here. She's an ambivert, which is an introvert and an extrovert combined, and she can't decide on things, and her mood changes a lot. So yeah, and maybe that's perhaps a cameo of Bubbles right there. You never know. Bubbles could be anywhere. Bubbles is actually everywhere. Bubbles the Bubbles, of course, not Bubbles the dog. And yeah, now we're moving on to our next character. A little transition. This is Lilac the bunny. She is a bashful, shy, cute, loyal, nice, kind, chill bunny. Kind of like Fluttershy if you've ever seen My Little Pony. Such a random reference. But basically, that's Lilac. Her whole character thing is giving kind of like ice cream or something like cookie dough, ice cream cookie. Yeah, cookie dough. But she's really cute and one of my favorite characters I made. So yeah, this is Lilac the bunny. Alright, so this is Austin the penguin who we're going to start doing. I think I ended up putting him on a time lapse too, but I started off by coloring him. I don't know the spelling. I spelled it like Austin with an E because I wanted to be different. But I don't know if that works or if people are going to think his name is Austin or something like that. But I might get rid of the E, but I wanted him to have a different spelling. Because I like different spellings. But this is the little penguin we're going to be working on. He's got a simple build and then coloring him gray. He's going to be grays, blues, and he loves music. He's a chill guy. He's also an introvert. He likes to be by himself and always listening to his music. He's just a cool guy, everybody likes to hang out with him, even though he can sometimes get annoyed by people because they're too much, but he likes to hang out and meet new people and chill with them. So yeah, Austin the penguin, chill, nonchalant, introvert, loves music and games, is quiet, and just a cool dude. So he's cool. Yeah, I get it, because ice cool. Haha. Anyways, moving on to the next character. This is the hippo and Lily, which is her side part, which will be getting her own scene later, or part of drawing. She'll have her own space. But Lily and Hippie the hippo, which I came up with a full new name randomly that just struck me and I kind of like, maybe a little better, but we'll see. they're like best friends, they're inseparable, and she's always hanging out with her. She just rests on top of her head. But this hippo is a very hippie hippo. Yeah. The other name that I was deciding between was Callie, which just came to me. I was like, oh, she's giving Callie. And then I was like, should it be Hippie or Callie? I don't know. But anyways, we started off by outlining her sketch in this like purple, dark purple color. And then once we finished doing some of the drawing, we ended up going back into time lapse again because I didn't finish filming the rest of it and I didn't have time to. But yeah, she's basically getting her little outline. And then we went with a lighter purple for the belly, and yeah. And I like to use this brush because of the texture it gives. It's kind of nice, and it has like the little like, I don't know, noise. I don't know how to describe it to you, but I liked the way it looked. And then we're getting rid of the mouth part because the inside's going to be a different color. And I did switch up a little bit of the color scheme to a little bit of a different color purple. But I also really liked the colors that went with this: green, pink, and some different shades of purple. I think I liked the way the background looked, and it's giving kind of hippie anyways. But yeah, this is Hippie, the hippo, which I think I might change to Callie, low-key, not gonna lie. As you can see here, we got Hippie, and then we got Callie. Hippie, Callie, Hippie, Callie. But I think I like Callie more than Hippie because Hippie just sounds kind of weird. But anyways, here is the description. This is Lily, her best friend, as I mentioned before. Lily is often keeping her calm, but can sometimes can't. So she tries her hardest to keep Hippie or Callie calm, but Callie slash Hippie is like frantic, messy, chaotic. But then she has this chill, calm, cool side that is there, and Lily is her safe place and her bestie, and is they're a part of each other, and so they're like best friends. They always hang out together. As you can see, Lily's always resting on Hippie's head or Callie's head. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, Hippie or Callie. But let's move on to the next character, which is another time lapse. Okay, so the next character we got, of course, is Lily, which is the flower that we just saw on Callie the hippo. Hippie is just such a generic name that was not even creative, because Hippie the hippo, Hippie, that's where I got Hippie from. But anyways, back to Lily. I really like the way the name turned out on this with the cursive and the straight font behind it. But yeah, this is Lily. She's just a little pink flower. I don't even know if she's a type of flower. I don't know what type of flower she'd be, but she's just the basic pink flower that you'd see. And the background turned out pretty good with this. I like the green and pink color schemes with a little bit of yellow. But here's Lily. She's got little hearts in the eyes. It's so cute. And then for her character, the eyes, I don't know if I like the way I did the eyes there, but yeah, I tried to give her little eye shinies and stuff, but whatever, like little highlights and stuff to give the character more depth, because it was kind of basic and boring. But don't be surprised just because her size, she is her own character. I made a little rhyme there, right? Quiet but loud at the same time. Sits on Hippie's head, and is her other half, calms her down, and she is awkward sometimes, but she's always with Hippie, so that's probably why. But yeah, that is Lily the flower. And now we're moving on to Jenny the giraffe, who is one of my personal favorites too. I got a compliment on this one when I was drawing her in class, like, oh my gosh, your giraffe's so cute. And I was like, oh, thanks. But yeah, this is Jenny, and I love the way this one turned out because it's like pretty like animated and good, and the eye color is really pretty. And I had to like do a lot of fidgeting with this, like the hair and everything. It like took so long to like complete her, but yeah, we finally got her in all the tiny little details. Jenny is the giraffe, and I like the way her name fit like that. I think it looks really cool. She is very friendly and very tall. Oh, also the little tape design was good too. Like, I think it just turned out really well. Often feels awkward in places because she's so tall and she can't even like talk to people sometimes. But maybe Matthew the bird, because he could fly up to her. There we go. But anyways, Jenny the giraffe, she often sometimes feels like she can't fit in, and she just wants to make friends. And yeah, even though Jerry the mouse is kind of small, I feel like they could be a good match because I feel like they'd have similar personality types. You haven't met Jerry yet, but Jerry I think is next. But I think they could be a good match just because they both need friends, and even though she's super tiny, I think that's why they could be a match, because opposites. And as I said, personalities, I feel like they have a similar personality. But yeah, that's Ginny the giraffe. Now we're going to move on to our next character. Also another time lapse, which I guess the mouse is next, but this is actually the snake. This is Cadence, the snake, and this one took me a while to get down because I had so many different like colored, like first off, the spots were like hard. I didn't know how to like orchestrate or draw the snake in the correct way, and then I changed the colors a bunch of times because I didn't like how it looked. But yeah, Cadence is a smart snake, and he gives scary and fear. Like, people think about a snake and they are frightened, but he's just has a strong personality. He can be double-sided sometimes, and sometimes he doesn't like people and other times he does. He doesn't know sometimes. He is two-sided. So he's nice at some point, but there's also sometimes that he's not. But also I forgot to put his name, so that was me just adding his name, and that turned out really good. Like, I really like the way Cadence looks. I don't know, me drawing like the names is like the funnest part for me, and it actually like looks really good. But yeah, this is Cadence the snake. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna move on to our next character, which is another time lapse, and I think most of the rest are time lapses except for one or two. But yeah, this one is actually the mouse. So this is Jerry the mouse. What a surprise. Jerry's such a not an original name, because like Tom and Jerry, but that's not the same Jerry. This is Jerry Jr., by the way, because I think I might have another Jerry character. That might be the frog. I don't remember, but this is Jerry the mouse, and I really like the way the mouse turned out too, because he's really cute and fun to draw, and he's just little petite, and I really like the way he turned out. And I love the gray and pink together. I think it looks really good. He doesn't have much of a personality here. It's kind of small, and I added little hearts in the background, which I think looks so cute. He usually speaks in mouse and is confused sometimes and can run wild. He's just a confusing guy, but he's chill and wants to make friends too and wants to hang out. I feel like he should have a bigger personality, but I didn't really think of one at the time. So anyways, moving on from Jerry, the next character we are doing is Reginald. Now, Reginald is also one of my favorites because I wanted a dinosaur character, and I just like Reginald. There we go. And he's so cute. He is a playful dinosaur and a prankster. I feel like he could be friends with Matthew, which I did add. His nickname is Reggie, and sometimes the names like go with characters like, I don't know, Reggie, I don't know, does that make sense? Reggie the red dinosaur. Reginald. His tail was crazy to make. I kept having to erase it and redo it, and it just looked so weird. I don't know. Something about the shape just kind of looked weird, and I had to like fix a lot of it. And then the circles and the spots, everything was like changing, and I had to mess around with things because of how I did it before. I wonder if the spots would be filled in better, but Reginald the dinosaur, he's a playful prankster, and he's fun. He's a party guy. He's crazy. He's loud. Scares people for fun. Likes to laugh a lot. And he and Matthew could be friends, as I said before. I think they'd be besties, low-key. They seem like the kind of people who would do pranks together on, like, Jerry the Mouse or something. But yeah, anyways, I'm starting a whole character fan base. Holy cow. This is fun, though. Anyways, now it's time for our next character. This is the skunk. This is Frank, which is credits to Mariah Elizabeth, of course. But anyways, as it's being explained, I know that this has been created, and I don't take credit for this, of course. It's not my OC, but I wanted to remake it in my own style and give it a character for fun, just because Mariah Elizabeth is one of my favorite YouTubers, if you couldn't tell. And I love like her art style. I think she's really good at what she does, and her videos are entertaining and funny, and the memes and stuff. But yeah, this is Frank in my style. I don't know if you remember the story about Frank the skunk, but yeah, if you watch her videos, you would know who Frank is. But anyways, this is Frank the skunk, and I did give him like my own like personality type, but he does kind of have one already. But yeah, creating like the bodies of these were kind of like hard because this literally looks like it's just a cup on a oval. And I think with my fox also I had problems with it, but he casually stinks and he's shy and bashful. So Frank the skunk. Frank the Stank. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Anyways, credits Mariah Elizabeth, of course, and this is my own style, as I explained before. But yeah, this is Frank, and I like the way I drew his name. It's like kind of like fun, but yeah. Anyways, we are going to move on to our next character, which is the fox that I created. But the fox I had a lot of trouble with, and I started drawing him. I guess I didn't get enough footage in the beginning, or I did. I don't know what happened to it, but I'm showing you basically the outline and stuff and creating the rest. When I made this, I had his design originally as like two-tone shades of orange, and then I was like, I don't know, something about the fox just isn't giving fox. The tail turned out pretty good, I think. But then I went and looked up a picture of a fox just to figure out what the issue was. And most foxes have like the black on them, like on their feet and faded. So I tried doing that. I tried adding a little layer of like fuzz and blending it out. And then it just turned out crazy. So then I came up with doing the two-toned orange. And then I tried to add the like front white tuft of hair that you saw, which was the other thing that I was like, it needed. And this is what I came up with. It was kind of hard to create, and I'm still not sure I'm a huge fan of the way the like white front turned out. But this is Zoe the fox that we have tried to create. And then we added the like outlines and stuff on the tails and did all of that. But yeah. And now we're headed to the background, which at first I had no idea what to do for the background either, because I was like, what do I do? Like, do I just keep going with the theme and do like oranges? And then I was like, maybe I should just do a complementary color. So I did blue, because blue and orange I think look really good together. And then I tried to add some like different stuff to the background, and then made the fox a little bigger because of course it was kind of small. So we moved all that. And then we put the fox front and center. And I don't think right now I don't have the white tuft because I don't think I liked it, but I'm not sure if I should keep it or add it to make it look more like a fox. But yeah, we're just basically fixing up minor details and things that need to be fixed up, like the extra like colors and filling in. But yeah. And I do wonder if I could go back and maybe like fix it. I just can't figure out how to like add the white hair and not make it look choppy because I want it to look like fluff. I could just do like a little like line, but yeah, now we're just drawing the title, Zoe the fox, and then adding her little profile or bio, whatever you want to call it, which is she's agile, swift, and smart. She's also like one of the smartest of the groups too. And she's a little bit older and likes to like, I don't know, she's just smart. And yeah, and wise because she's a fox. And then she's loving and loyal. Most foxes are seen as like swift and not, and like swiper no swipey. That's a door thing. But this fox is a nice, loving, kind fox and loves to hang out with all the animals and just be a friend. And yeah, this is Zoe the fox. And now we're moving on to the most random character of them all. It's literally a piece of cheese. Now, we made cheese because Jerry needs his cheese, and so it's kind of boring, and it probably makes no sense, but this is cheese or ches. I like to call my cheese ches because, like, chesburger. It's a whole meme thing, but it's cheese. I don't know, it smells. So, yeah, this is the last character we created, which is Cheese, who goes with Jerry. But yeah, that's all of the characters in that we can fit in this part. And I'd say we got through a lot, as you can see here. There are some, as you can see, I've been working on. A few that you will meet later that have been turning out really good. That will be in the next video. But we went through a whole bunch of different characters, but this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to have to end it here. But thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in part 2 or the next video that's being posted. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.